Most people dread one-to-ones, but what if yours were actually a highlight? Hi, I'm Kathy Doherty, the People Navigator, and I help small business owners and leaders avoid hiring and holding on to horrible people. Today we're talking about one-to-one meetings. Done badly, they can feel like a tick box exercise or a telling off. But done well, they become one of the most powerful ways to strengthen trust, motivation, and loyalty in your business. So let's explore how to make one-to-ones something your team actually looks forward to and that you look forward to. Why one-to-ones often fail. Most one-to-ones are rushed, cancelled at the last minute, only happen when there's bad news, or they've been in your diary for ages, and you don't get down to doing any preparation until 5 minutes beforehand. No wonder employees feel anxious about them. And you probably do too. And according to Gallup, one of those many pollsters, only 14% of employees feel their performance reviews inspire them to improve. 14%. That is not surprising, but still disappointing. And that just goes to show the way that most businesses do one-to-ones isn't working. Your goal is to flip that around. Set the right tone from the start. One-to-ones aren't mini performance reviews, although quite often they can be treated like that. They're more like conversations. So when you sit down with someone, open with something simple and human. How are you doing? That simple question, but actually ask them about what's been going well for them recently, because this shows the meeting is as much about them as it is the business. Keeping your tone calm, open, and curious. Because when employees see that you're actually there to listen, actively listen, not there to judge, they'll relax and open up more. And you need them to open up more, because that then grows your insights and your ability to help them, to help the business, and to build those trust and trusted connections. Make it about them, not just you. The biggest mistake in all of these meetings, and I hold my hand up, I have been guilty of it in the past, is that we do too much talking in the meeting. These one-to-ones, your team member, the employee, should be the one doing most of the talking. And yes, I know that can be difficult at times, especially if you maybe have a shyer employee, but on the whole, it really shouldn't be you doing most of the talking. Also learn to live with a bit of silence, because silence encourages people, as well as your physical manifestations of active listening, which I've talked about in previous videos. But your team member will pick up on all of that. Are they being given the space to talk and be heard, to be properly listened to? So have a think about the kind of questions you might ask to encourage more of a discussion. Things like, typically, say when it comes to an interview, we always ask open questions. We try to get those to try and create a conversation. Similar in your one-to-ones. Open questions. What's been going well? What challenges are you facing? What support do you need from me? And don't be afraid to have that, to create an agenda for each of your meetings so that your team member can then begin to prepare their thoughts. Again, rather than being put on the spot and feeling like they're under pressure and they have to come up with something, but it's not really meaningful and it really becomes a waste of time. So prepare, have your agenda, share it in advance, and talk about what you want to achieve in your one-to-one meetings. And remember, when they do start talking, make sure you listen. Don't get distracted, because sometimes your best leadership moment is giving your people space to talk, space to think through their thoughts before they vocalize them. And don't be afraid to share something vulnerable about yourself if you feel that might help somebody to open up, because sometimes people don't realize that we're all vulnerable, we've all made mistakes, and they're not the first and they won't be the last. But also there might be something they've been itching to ask, but they might feel a bit foolish. The more you have quality one-to-ones with your people, you'll have a better insight as to what approach you're going to need with which person. Balance recognition and challenge. Employees, well, everybody wants feedback and nobody wants a lecture. So recognize what's going well and be specific about it, not patronizing either, but be specific. So people know you actually mean it and you did see it, and it's not just some vague general statement that could have applied to anybody in any circumstance. So instead of saying things like, good job, which is like, yeah, thanks, you're probably better phrasing something specific, such as, I really appreciated how you handled that difficult client. You kept calm and professional, and that made a difference. Then, if there is an area for improvement, frame it as support and not criticism. So, for example, I've noticed you're a bit quieter in team meetings. I think your input would really help. How can I help you feel more confident sharing your ideas? So you see, there's a balance of recognition and challenges. You're wanting to build confidence, not defensiveness. But remember, don't confuse the point, in things like a praise sandwich. Don't muddy the waters, keep it simple, keep it light, but be specific. Create a rhythm, a routine, and stick to it, at least to begin with. Consistency is where the magic happens. If you want to build trust and trusted connections with your people, consistency is key. It doesn't matter whether you meet monthly or quarterly. What matters is that your team knows that they can rely on these conversations, that they're going to happen. They know the format. They know what's expected of them. Not knowing and being kept guessing does not help. And they don't have to take forever. Sometimes maybe 10 minutes is fine, depending on the individual. You can take up to half an hour if you need to, but don't turn them into something bigger than they need to be. Little and often is much better. And whatever you decide, keep to that. That then becomes the new rhythm of how you do things when you're having the conversations, so that your people know, oh, well, that's okay because I can talk to them in that space about it. And they will listen to me. Your goal is to make sure that people walk away feeling heard, feeling clearer, supported and valued. How will you know if you have been successful in that? A great one-to-one doesn't need fancy forms, endless paperwork, smart software. It needs your time, attention, and a genuine willingness to listen. Do that consistently, and your employees won't just look forward to your one-to-ones. They'll leave feeling more connected, more loyal, more motivated, and more confident in themselves and in you. So tell me, do you or your team really look forward to your one-to-ones at the moment, or do they dread them? Share your experience in the comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more people-centered advice. And if you'd be interested in a Thriving Leadership Essentials playbook that helps you build belonging, people, and business results, then pop to the website for your free download. I'll put the link in the comment below. See you next time.